The story begins by showing a lieutenant named Augusto and his two men, Lebron and Ains. There they were carrying a young man named Jack who was a prisoner. But instead of being arrested, they will make Jack a maid in the house of a man named Sam, an American soldier who lives in luxury. Upon arrival, Augusto immediately introduced Jack to Sam and also his wife named Otto. As for Augusto, he is a confidant of Sam to take care of his business in the Philippines. In the evening, Otto cried hurt by the words of her husband Sam, who realized his mistake, apologized to Otto while inviting him to do battle activities. But just a few moments after they started the match, Jack suddenly came to them after hearing them arguing, because that incident made Sam very angry with Jack, who had disrupted their activities. But fortunately, Otto managed to calm her husband and immediately took him to the room to resume the game. A few moments later, Jack was approached by another maid named Jenny. There Jenny tells Jack that Sam is actually a very generous man and also warns never to make him angry. The next day Jack was cleaning the pool. A few moments later, Jenny came up to Sam with juice and gave him the code to take him to battle. After getting the code, Sam immediately slapped Jenny and gave her money to carry out combat activities. Unknown to his wife, after finishing the battle, Sam immediately asked Otto for permission to go take care of his business outside the city. After her husband went to work, Otto accidentally saw Jack, who was swimming alone from a distance, after which Otto immediately approached Jack and invited him to chat to tell each other about their respective lives. After telling each other about their lives, they finally realized that they both come from the same city. There Otto also tells the beginning of his meeting with Sam, where previously Sam helped the treatment of his father, who suffered from an illness and was forced to marry him as a form of revenge. As time goes by, they start to look at each other. Looks like they're in love. And Otto is also not averse to giving him some gifts and wishing Jack a happy birthday. Meanwhile, Jack, who gets all the gifts, proudly shows off the gifts to Otto and invites him to battle. But unfortunately, it was all just a dream. Then when Adeline went downstairs, she accidentally found her husband, who was fighting with Jenny. Adeline, who saw all the events, could only be silent and immediately decided to go to the edge of the lake to calm himself. Jack, who knows his grieving employer, immediately approaches Adeline and immediately gives him a handkerchief that happens to have the same name as his mother. There he also had time to comfort Adeline by saying whatever problems he was facing, there would be a way out. After hearing all those words, Adeline was finally able to smile again and immediately hugged her. In the evening, Jenny suddenly comes to Jack saying that she was asked to meet Sam. There Sam immediately vent his anger and download Jack had an affair with his wife by the lake. Sam, who knows that Jack likes his wife, immediately invites Adeline to do battle activities and asks him to watch the activities. The next day Sam was again picked up by his men for a business trip. Adeline, who knew her husband was gone, did not waste the opportunity to invite her maid to do battle activities again. And since that incident, they almost every time doing these activities. Especially when Sam goes out of town. After the battle, Adeline finally had the idea to kill her husband so that they could live happily and she could no longer stand her husband's behavior. Jack, who initially rejected the plan, finally agreed to do anything in order to live forever with Adeline. The next day, Sam suddenly comes home early, which makes Jenny very panicked and immediately tells them. But luckily Jack managed to get out in time without being noticed by Sam. Although Augusto had caught him, in the evening Sam is seen having a party together with his business friends and also his men. There Sam suddenly asked Adeline to do battle activities with his two business friends in his presence. Adeline, who felt humiliated, refused the request, which made Sam very angry and immediately pushed Adeline until he hit his head. Jack, who saw the incident, spontaneously immediately beat Sam in front of everyone. Sam, who felt himself humiliated, immediately taught him a lesson and asked Augusto to finish him off. But fortunately Augusto forgave all his mistakes, provided that Jack had to move away from here and forget about Adeline. Because of last night's incident, Sam finally apologized to Adeline and promised not to repeat it, even though with a look that is not entirely sincere. Adeline finally forgave her husband after getting a piece of jewelry from her husband. Jenny gave Jack an envelope previously deposited by Adeline. The envelope contained a house key and a letter that was Adeline's plan to kill her husband. In the evening, Jack secretly sneaks into Adel's house and plans to finish off Sam, who is doing battle activities. After successfully finishing everything, Adeline immediately took all her husband's possessions and also took a gun just in case. After taking all his possessions, they finally board a boat and dump Sam's body into the lake. Arriving at the edge of the lake, Adeline suddenly approached Augusto, who had been waiting for him for a long time, which turned out that they had worked together to control all of Sam's property and only used Jack to kill Sam. After Augusto managed to finish off Jack, Adeline suddenly also decided to finish off Augusto. What turns out is that Adeline has also had his own plans. She wanted to control her husband's wealth alone.